Good afternoon, how are we doing? Welcome back to Oven Mitts Without Any Tits. Now we are making today some snacks for the golf course. So these particular ones are more sort of cupcake, muffin type things, but they're quite easy to kind of like just chuck in your bag and get out when you need to. So they are banana choc chip, oatmeal, or just oat cupcakes, whatever you want to call them. So the two things we need to do basically is mix the wet ingredients and the dry ingredients, then mix them together and put them in the oven. So I'll start with the wet ingredients. Now I've already mashed up two large bananas. To this I'm going to add 2 eggs, then we are going to add, come on, 60 ml of honey or maple syrup or agave nectar, whichever you've got. Now top tip for you, my honey was a little solid at the bottom. Sometimes if you don't use it for some time it can get a bit solid, so a top tip for you is put a bit of boiling water in a cup and then just sit your honey in it. It'll just kind of loosen up that solidified honey at the bottom for you to use. There you go, top tip. So I want 60 grams of this, or 60 mils. It's pretty much the same when it comes to the on the scales. 60 grams and 60 mils. We have got plenty left, don't worry. It's just a big solid lump that's trying to get out of the little. Alright, 10 mils left to go. Do you know what, it's probably easier if I just take the end off and pour the honey out, because it'll soon mix together, won't it? There we go. 60 mils of honey. To that we are adding 60 mils of coconut oil, which I've just melted down. 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Give that a whisk and then we'll add 250 mils of milk. I'm not going to add it just yet because I want to just kind of get the eggs going. I don't want the milk to go everywhere. So we'll give this a everything together. It smells really coconutty. Well, it will do with coconut oil. I don't use coconut oil very often, but it smells really nice. So 250 mils of milk goes into there. Give that another good mix and put that to one side. So now we want to mix the wet ingredients together. So we've got 240 grams of oats, into that we're going to put a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda, or if you're in the US it's baking soda. 1 teaspoon of that, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, quarter a teaspoon of salt, two tablespoons of light brown soft sugar. Just do 2 heaped ones of these. Be fine. One. That, luckily enough, it's about the rest of the bag, to be fair. That was lucky. So we'll add these to, give these a little bit of a mix together. We're not going to put the chocolate chips in just yet. We're going to get all this batter mixture all combined before we start adding any chocolate chips. Dry ingredients mixed together. And we've got the wet ingredients we're now going to add. The reason you put the wet into the dry is if you put the dry into the wet will just splash everywhere as you're adding it, and nobody wants that. So you just carefully add all that together. Give that a really good stir around. Make sure you get all the wet mix to the bottom of the oats. And it does look like quite a wet mix. So if you see the ingredients at the end, you may see some differences, you may not. Now the reason being, I've had to convert this from American to UK. I've had to convert it from cups into grams. Now sometimes I don't get a direct comparison, so it may, if I do find it is a little bit wet when it comes in, it doesn't cook properly, I will just reduce some of the wet ingredients, but make sure you just kind of keep an eye on the ingredients at the end. So finally, we're just going to add, just open a new one, 100 grams of chocolate chips. Now I'm using dark chocolate chips, but you can use light if you prefer, you can even use white if you prefer white ones. In fact, you know what? Let's just add the remainder of those as well. It will be a usual thing that you'll hear the dog in the background, so I apologise. He's in the front room with his head out the blinds. So the last thing we need to do is add that into the cupcakes and get them in the oven for about 30 minutes. I've put the oven on about 180. In fact, what I might just do, because I'm not convinced that this is good enough. I'm just going to add a few more oats into that. So I will adjust accordingly. That's better. Just seemed a little bit too wet for my liking, so I'll adjust the recipe. That's better. And we'll get those in, get them in the oven, and 30 minutes at a time, you'll see what they look like. So here we are. I've managed to get 18 of the muffins out of this mixture. Put them in, see what happens. Or just point out, I've never made these before, so I don't know what they're going to turn out like, hence why they're a bit soggy. But hopefully they will cook okay and they will taste even better. So stay tuned. Moment of truth. Turn the oven on. They smell very banana-y, which I suppose is a good thing. Okay. So we'll move them onto here. I do have asbestos fingers. Perhaps I can probably, I'll leave them in the silicone moulds for now, just to kind of let them cool off a little bit. And obviously I'm not going to be taste testing them just now because they're going to be way too hot. I do like the skin on my mouth. I don't want to burn it off. So I'll wait till they're cooled, take them out of the moulds, and then we'll try one. Can't wait, I'm starving. So here we have all the chocolate banana oatmeal cupcake muffin things.
Cupcake muffin things?
Yeah, the snacks for the golf course for your golf bag.
Okay.
So we are going to have a taste test. So you can see I've taken them all out of the muffin silicone muffin trays now. But we have still got some in there, but I was experimenting with both of them. So I've got a small one. We're going to try it. It's still quite moist. It's quite moist on the edge, and they're quite. I'll try that.
Thank you for a small piece. Very much.
You're welcome, chef prerogative.
Nice, then.
Luna likes them as well. Yeah?
Chocolate to them, kind.
Too chocolatey?
No, can I have it? Stupid.
I mean, I'm just asking, some people might not want a lot of chocolate. So there you go, there's a verdict.
Very moist in the middle compared. It's quite.
Is it not gooey middle? Is it not?
Gooey, yeah.
Is it nice gooey or horrible gooey? Okay, there we go. So try making them yourself. Something a little bit snacky to go on the golf course. Put them in an airtight container.
On the golf course.
On the golf course, you can have them on the golf course.
Then you got off bad kind anyway.
So it begins. So keep them in an airtight container. You'll probably last for a couple of weeks in there.
Weeks? No, they won't, kind. I wouldn't imagine.
If nobody eats them, they would last about 2 weeks in an airtight container.
Are you sure?
However, people will eat them, so I doubt they'll last that long. That was the point I was going to make before you jumped in.
I still don't think they'll last 2 weeks, kind.
Why?
I just don't think they will. They're buns, aren't they?
You can freeze them as well.
Can you?
If you want.
So why did you find out they could last 2 weeks?
On the recipe.
Oh, I do find that surprising, but I'll take your word for it.
Well, airtight container, I say. So have a go at it yourself. What do you think? Do you think they're worthwhile doing? Do you think they're worth having? Are you going to agree with Mr. Binks and say they are quite moist inside? Who knows? But take care, catch you next time. Don't forget to hit subscribe, hit like. See you later.
Bye.
Oh.